Hi everybody, it's Diane. Welcome back to my channel, Scrap Addict Creations. Today I have for you the last two layouts from Moments Like These Cut Above Layout Kit. We've already completed the cover page, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and October. November and December, this one's kind of a fallish feel, and this one's more of a wintry feel. Those are the last two of this kit to do. Real quick. So here is the layout ideas. I should have been showing these all along. Sorry, I printed out a couple of them that Kelly sent. And this is the layout idea from the kit. So they're very similar. It's really nice to be able to kind of turn a one page into a two page. And here is my version of it. I kept a little bit of this orange-ish paprika color on the side. So I used Kraft as my base. I kept putting different colors there and they just felt heavy and really just kind of soaked up the color and soaked up the feel of this. And I wasn't loving it. So I tossed out some Kraft. That's my go-to when I'm struggling. And I thought, I like it. I like the feel of it. It kind of brown bags it. So Kraft is 8.5 by 11 1/4. And then I did Espresso for the photo mat portion. That is 4 by 11.5 on both sides. The white paper with pattern, I cut that down to 4 by 7 3/8. And then this piece is about 1 inch. And I used a punch. Let me see, I've got it right here. This punch, let's see if you can see it better. Maybe just the picture. So I used this. It's kind of like a tearaway punch, and I thought that gave it not too much frill, just a little bit of pizzazz, not a lot. I then ended up cutting this little itty bitty strip. It's about 1/4 of an inch by, I want to say 4. I'm not seeing it on my notes, so I'll have to make sure that I get that listed below. And then I just chose to do the photo mats as my standard size, as if this was a 3 by 4. So this would be 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 for each of those. These came with the kit. They were some stickers for journaling. So I cut those to 3 inches. I did do 2 standard photo mats at 3 by 4. Sorry, tongue twister there for a second. And then I started working on the flowers. I cut around them so that we didn't have as much white. There still is some, but not as big as they were. Then I popped all of these flowers. I put this one flat, the leaves are flat. And then I started looking at it and thinking it's a little blank. I mean, I hadn't actually put them on the layout. They were just popped in setting there. And I thought, well, I've got all these leaves left over from my daughter's wedding album. Why don't I just go see what I can find? So I started digging through this little box and I pulled out a bunch of the different colors that I felt matched well enough and shoved them in here and there. And then I had to move it all to glue it down. That was fun. So I wanted to get them as close as possible without having to cut anything. And I feel like they worked out. They're 2 little bouquets that are kind of together in the center. And so they'll work out well. I added this little bit here and a little bit there to kind of just tie it in, frame it up. I cut the We Gather Together on the Cricut. I used a set saying that was We Gather Together for these 2 words. And the gather was just a little too flourishy for me. Wanted something a little more kind of just straight. I wanted some flourish and some non-flourish. And so what I did was I found a font that I liked. I'm trying to think of what the font's name was. It's got right here. It's BELWE Standard STD medium. And I set it to 3.878 and height of 2. So the width was 3.878 and the height was 2 inches. And I cut it out, and it, instead of just as it grew, it was growing bigger. It just kind of shoved it together and elongated it. And I really liked how that font turned out. Very, very happy with that. I did use the lighter of the side of Paprika on the gather and the darker for the wheat and together. I wanted a little bit of difference there, and I wanted this gather to kind of stand out a little more. So that's all I have for that layout. Let's set that one aside. The next one, let's actually pull out this paper. So the next one is the Be Joyful. And this is what Kelly had come up with. And I liked the triangle aspect of it. It just doesn't seem to work as well when you're doing 8.5 by 11. So here's what I came up with for my layout. And I made this triangle, just cut it on the Cricut. I know I could have just cut it regular, but I thought, let's do something easy today, right? And this triangle is, I know I wrote these down. I'm not seeing them. Just one second. Oh, I wrote it under pattern corners instead of triangle. Oh, how silly. So I cut 4 of these, 5.5, 5.5, and 7.25. And it gave me that perfect size over here. Now, the first time I tried to make these, I actually cut off this portion and I didn't care for it as much. So when I recut them, because I was playing with them and it was not working, when I recut them, I left the white on, and I like how it gives it that little extra border. Just a little tiny bit there. Then I used this punch. It just makes this little strip. So half of it is actually underneath there, and half of it you can see. Let me see here. I've got another little piece here I can show you. Sorry, it's sticky on it. So this is what you get. And I just took it and I just glued it on there with the dark side showing of Bluebell. So the base on this is Bluebell, and then I did white at 8 by 10 3/4. The Bluebell strips for the punched image were about 1/4 of an inch by 8 inches, and then I just trimmed them in the triangle pattern. The pocket corners, like I said before, are 5.5 by 7.25 by 5.5. So 5.5, 5.5, 7.25. Okay, on that one. And then we had this little piece of paper here, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. I kept looking at what Kelly had done, where she'd like just kind of left it, I guess would be more so, on there so it kind of framed the photo. But again, those photos were so big for my layout, so I was like, well, how am I going to do this? And then I started thinking I like a pocket. I always like a pocket. Pockets are great. So I cut these. I cut 2 silver at 2 by 5 and 2 white, and then I used a glue dot so that they would stay in place. The ribbon I used here, and yes, they will all come out if you want them to. It's just I wanted them to stay. So I started to try and use this shimmer trim because it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. But there's a plastic coating on the back, so it was really hard to make a nice little bow. So I was like, well, back to the drawing board. So I went back to the rest of my stash, and I have this beautiful ribbon. And this is actually Seaside Spray, which is very close to Bluebell from Stampin' Up. And it, of course, is more of a ribbon, so you can tie a bow. So that's what all those bows are, is the Seaside Spray. Then I was like, well, the flowers for this, let me grab one of them real quick. They're really pink. I love them. I cut them all out and everything, but they were just a little too much pink. So I was like, well, what am I going to do here? And then I thought of my favorite flowers from Comfort and Joy, and I decided to cut them out of my favorite vellum, and I was going to use Bluebell for the leaves and for the greenery type part. And I thought, I don't really want more Bluebell. What could I do? So I grabbed out rosemary, and I thought maybe this will work. because if you see, let me see here, the greenery on here looks like rosemary. Yeah, I have my little loungewear on that has like Mickey heads. It's my let's get some stuff done outfit. Um, but I didn't care for it. And then I went to my big old binder full of this paper, and that's when the silver popped into here. So I ended up using silver for the holly, silver for the greenery branch leaves, silver for the bottom leaf, and then vellum for here. And then I pulled out the glitter gems I had just gotten and used the bluebell there. I think it turned out really well. Okay, I have 6 3x4 photo mats, and I usually do photo mats more this way than this way because this is how I seem to take pictures. So this will be a little interesting to see what actually ends up on these 4 pictures. And I could use one for journaling too, which is always good, or I can use these for journaling or a hidden picture if I need it. So that is that last layout. Yay, we're all done. But I did want to share with you a couple things. So I have a flower I hadn't assembled yet, and I wanted to share with you how I assemble it. And I know there's tools out there, but I always just use my fingers. I feel like I get more out of it when I'm using my fingers. So I always just kind of fold my little flowers, go along there, fold them, fold them. And it's so easy to just do this and just to kind of, I don't know, I love feeling the paper. I know some people like those little ball tools and stuff, and I have them. I just never use them. I just like to do this. I even have something from, I believe, Tim Holtz. Let me see, I think it's right here. Yeah, Sizzix, that you're supposed to be able to stick flowers in and curl it. Do I use it? No, not me. Why would I do that? That's too easy. Then I usually just take a glue dot and put it on there, and then put the flower down. And then you take your next one and you put your flower down. You just kind of offset them. And look how it builds into this beautiful flower in like 2 seconds. It takes like no time at all to build this flower. Then I'm going to take this little guy, flip him over, and I'll put the holly right there. And I'll find the glue dots on here. I was so excited I found my glue dots today when I was putting away some other layouts I had started. So it's like, yay, I can do my glue dots. Okay, and right there. And there you have a flower. Now the only thing I've been having troubles with today is both of these stayed on the mat. Let's see. Oh, got it. There we go. Sometimes they come off easy for me, sometimes they don't. I like to keep these in the bag so I know what they are. But there you have a little flower, and you can pull it apart. You can do whatever you need to do with it and just kind of play with it. Such a fun little flower too. I mean, it's just, here, I'll even leave it. Well, maybe right on there. Such a shimmery one. There, you can see it better that way. That's funny. Okay, so, oh, and on the tags, I did use my tag punch. So the next layouts I'm going to actually tackle are the Serenity ones. I've got probably half of this kit done. I've completed, let's see here. I've completed this page. I've completed this page. I did them a little tiny bit different, of course. I did do this page, and I think I have done one in this page. I believe I've got one done in that. I have not done this page, nor do I plan to do this page. I'll do something else with that. So tomorrow I will share, and I won't be doing this one either. I will be sharing with you some of my Serenity layouts I already have done. It'll probably be a 2 video process just to kind of make them about 15 minutes total. Okay. Well, you have an amazing rest of the day. I'm so glad I was able to share these with you today, and I hope you love them as much as I do. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.